Welcome, welcome, welcome. Welcome, evolutionary leaders. Those of you who are members of our community and those of you who are working for the evolution of human consciousness in all different ways, in all different places. You are all welcome to this second Congress of Synergy Circles for the year 2025. And it has been quite a year, hasn't it? So we are very grateful to the Synergy Circles. These are the action arms of the evolutionary leaders and includes members of our community and other experts in the field of whatever particular interest the Synergy Circle addresses. And we now have 25 Synergy Circles, thematic Synergy Circles, and 6 collaboratories where the Synergy Circles actually come together. And you'll hear more about that from our wonderful coordinator of the Synergy Circles, Dr. Kurt Johnson. And he is assisted by Roger Briggs, who unfortunately couldn't be with us today. I'm Reverend Deborah Moldow. I'm the director of the Evolutionary Leaders. And I want to start today with just a brief moment of silence because we love to just take a moment to breathe together and come into coherence before we begin all of the wonderful presentations that we're going to hear today. So let's just take a moment and take a nice deep breath. I invite you to feel into the presence of everybody who is here with us today. All the wonderful things that all of you are doing. Your writing, your podcasts, your videos, your meetings, your events. All of it in the spirit of oneness and making this world a better place for all life on earth. And those of you who are watching the recording, you are included in. And let's just take another breath and include the whole planet in this moment of evolution, this moment of choice. Ooh, can you feel the energy of all the people who are serving this wonderful cause right now in so many different ways? All right, let's begin. Let's begin by welcoming Dr. Kurt Johnson. Take it away, Kurt.
Yeah, thanks so much. And thanks for setting the tone. This is going to be really down home. We'll just relax. We'll have some fun. It'll also be inspiring. So the Fab 50, there are already 50 of us that are here, and hopefully more as we move on. So there are 25 Synergy Circles and 6 collaboratories. And the Synergy Circles are circles of individual ELs, and the collaboratories are circles of circles. And you've already received the written reports from those of the circles or collabs that provided them. And so of those, there are really 20 that are super active, and some involve internal support and inspiration discussion among ELs, and others involve ongoing, more outward-facing initiatives, events, and products. And in the last 2 years especially, we've really reached a capacity for significant impact events and initiatives in a lot of cases, and you're going to be hearing about many of those today. So today you're going to be hearing from 12 circles and 5 collabs, and you'll immediately note that many of them are already interlinked with each other. And you're also going to be hearing from some evolutionary leaders who work across multiple synergy circles, and they'll be talking about that. Now, generally, the Synergy Circles are co-coordinated by Roger Briggs and myself. And Roger, at the very last minute this morning, had a family emergency, so he couldn't be here. And we're backed up by the Synergy Circle advisors who meet twice a month. And that includes Deborah and Diane, Barbara Layton, Nancy Brown, Bob Atkinson, Julie Kroll, and Jude Curavan. So we're going to start today with two general reports that concern things that the entire community needs to be updated about. One is with regard to what's happening with media, and the second involves how we all annually gather for the Evolutionary Leaders event seasons. And this year there were over 20 events, as you'll see. So the plan was to start with Roger and Amanda, but since Roger can't be here, it will just be Amanda. And they're going to tell you about the wider media alliance across networks that is emerging from the Evolutionary Leaders Media Collaboratory and how we hope to invite you into this wider alliance in 2026. Now, the Media Collaboratory itself has a core group that meets weekly, and that includes people in the group who are regulars and also a group that comes and goes as they're available. So while Amanda is reporting, I'll be putting into the chat the two most recent Circle newsletters that summarize all of the events that have gone on, because that's what John and Rick will be highlighting when they speak then about the event season. So then let's go over now then to Amanda, and I'm assuming she's here, and we will turn it over to her.
I've been looking for Amanda, and Amanda, if you are here, can you turn on your camera?
I don't think she's here yet,
Yeah,
so
she's not here
maybe
yet.
we can save that one for a little later.
All right, so let's change the order. I told you this would be nice and down home. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'll move over to introducing John Raymer and Rick Ulfik, and there's a particular reason for introducing them up front. And this is because when the evolutionary leaders do all of the events that highlight the event season, and when we do videos about them, we package them under the banner of the Unity and Peace Synergy Circle. So they're all centered in one place. And that was the Synergy Circle that was founded by John Raymer and Ben Bowler. And of course, Ben can't be here because he's on Australian time. And of course, they then, along with Rick Ulfik, really are the anchors for so many of our Evolutionary Leaders event that revolve around the United Nations International holidays. And as you know, those concern Peace Week, the International Day of Yoga, World Interfaith Harmony Week, and so on. So as I said, because John and Rick can only be giving highlights, I'll be putting into the chat the last newsletters that have all the banners and information about all the events that went on. We're going to start with John, and what's really fabulous and interesting about what John's done is he's involved multiple circles in his activities, and particularly this year, our Synergy Circle for First Peoples, which is the Sacred Site Circle. And when he talks about the powwow in Central Park and the other things that he's done, this was so interrelated between the arts and First Peoples and so on. And so we'll start with John. So John, over to you.
Yeah. Thank you, Kurt. Thank you, Deborah. Thank you, everybody. I think I can't start this without saying how grateful I am to be a part of this community and how meaningful that is to Summer and I and to our really reason for being alive. I want to quickly give you guys just a quick story about my background, how I arrived here. So, and is that Emily Hine? Oh my God, okay, I was just going to talk about the Seeds of Compassion, which she and I were a part of in Seattle. And the year before that, I met Patricia Ann Davis, 2007. And 2008 was this incredible event that Emily was the lead, really. I just played a small part, but it ended up changing my life. And that's where I met Brother Phil. Okay, someone just unmuted, and now we hear Rick. Mute yourself, Rick Ulfik.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh, try it again. There you go. And as a result of this Holiness's visit to Seattle, we started this Compassionate Cities campaign that began in 2010, this 10-year campaign. And then the city of Louisville and its mayor claimed they were more compassionate. And that began the Compassion Games with Chief as Phil as the chairman and has been ever since. And that first game happened because of you, Deborah, and the International Day of Peace and the 11 Days of Global Unity, because we wanted to be a first follower, like with Karen Armstrong, with her Charter for Compassion. And that actually led to, as Emily knows, the Compassion Action Network that became the Charter for Compassion. So I've spent so many years served by and in service of the people on this call. And I'm so grateful to so many of you. Kurt, you are amazing. What it means to be with you each week and how you continue to weave a story about us coming together. And it's really that story that makes it real. And now we're at a turning point unlike anything we've ever seen. And it's true what happened because of Ben Bowler, who we visited Ethiopia with in 2018. And that led to an invitation to Global Citizen. And if you don't know Global Citizen, you'd be inspired if you did. 3 guys from Australia focusing on ending extreme poverty found this model in which they find the best, most well-known, loved artists, musicians in the world, like Ed Sheeran and Coldplay. And they have these music festivals, but to get into the festival, you got to go do service in the community. It's just like a compassion game. And we have, through Unity and Peace, built a beat pulse, a pattern of solstice uniting. World Unity Week in June and enlightening our way together in December. And that's been happening for years now. And can you believe it? I swear what I'm about to tell you is true. We had this plan on June 21st to do Solstice Unites with Chief Dwayne Perry, who I don't think is here in New York City. Whatever reason, it couldn't happen. With the support of Global Citizen, who advised us, they were supportive of us. We realized, wait a minute, we could do it at the Global Citizen Festival on the Great Lawn, just like we dreamed. And you know what? It turns out to be the 99th day. So June 21st, we launched Solstice Unites in Corlears Hook in New York. And then the 99th day, we did, and there'd never been a global powwow before in Central Park. I mean, there's a whole story about this, which I'd love to tell you when we have the time for it. But that Solstice Unites idea of an indigenous-led initiative to really unite humanity and restore Mother Earth. And that's happening here. And we're part of that. And I was just up in British Columbia because we're about to launch. Here, let me show you a couple things real quick here. So this was this One World. That's the platform, you know, that we've been building as a community, a beloved community. And this was the Global Citizen Festival that just happened, all about restoring balance and celebrating harmony. But this is where we go for the 6th year. This is what's happening now. And this is an invitation of something we can do together. Rekindling the sacred light within. I told Summer last night, you know, maybe the light has never been lit in me. That it isn't like I've already known this light, because it feels like the world is so different right now. Maybe it was lifetimes ago that the sacred light was lit in me. Here we can light it again together like we never have. So that's the dream, that this solstice, each of us in our own way rekindle that sacred light within. And I'm going to show you real quickly a breakthrough, I think, in architecture for how we can come together. One world, one people, one Mother Earth, one family of life. It's a 4-day ceremony. And the whole idea of Solstice Unites is ceremony as strategy. Global Citizen called us a ceremonial movement. We've got these 4 days in which we're weaving together, and this is the big picture. If you can stomach this, you can get the whole story. On the left is a different way of thinking about Zoom. This is shared time like we're doing right here. But imagine the main room was a global fire ceremony room. And that there are these lodges in the 4 directions where all of the engagement happens in breakout rooms. and people can freely move between rooms. And that's one piece of the architecture about how we meet in shared time. And complementing that is what we're doing in One World, where we can keep on going. What Patricia Ann Davis calls a reverent revolution. So all of the resources, the ability to connect, collaborate, and we're putting in the middle of this global fire ceremony room an AI hearth, our living memory. Some of you who are, interested in that stuff, it's a notebook LM for the entire event. This becomes our interconnected ecosystem. Let me just show you this. The game is everyone can put your light into the fire by filling out a simple form, sharing what you're grateful for, what your wish for the world is. And I'll show you, we put that together already. And here's an example of what I think is a breakthrough for us as human beings. We were able to take all the answers we've gotten so far and summarize it into this one sentence, just starting to play this way. Because we ask people, what does rekindling the sacred light within mean to you? Rekindling the sacred light within means remembering our connection to the source, healing and living our true nature with presence and devotion, and expressing that inner awakening through loving service to all life. So I'm going to leave it at that and say that this year we're doing something like we've never done before, and I encourage us to do it together. Ben and I, through the Unity and Peace Synergy Circle, are looking to build this pattern of where in June with solstice, we World Unity Week, unite, and then in December, solstice unites again with enlightening our way together. This is the 6th year we've been doing it with Brother Phil, with Patricia Ann Davis, with Chief Perry. I get the joy and privilege of being an ally and supporter in this way. And I'm going to put the link to the form. It's called The Light Within. And I'm encouraging us, let's try something like we haven't done before in coming together in a creative way that is a learning journey. I mean, if not now, when? There's so many changes that are happening for us all right now that for any of us to think we know what to do, I'm cautious about. I'm saying, let's try this. So put your light in and come participate with us. If you got something you want to share, we have the platform through this global fire. We're calling it a village. And in that village, your voice can be heard, and we together can turn what we have into what we need.
Yeah, John, thank you so much. That is so inspiring. And it shows again by our gathering everything in a strategic place. That's what it gins up our impact. And a good example of that is the inner spiritual volumes, which now are ranking in the top 10 in 4 categories at Amazon. John and his group curated the entire section in here on First Peoples and reciprocity and restoring balance. And also Rick Ulfik, who's coming next, the education publication by the Education Circle on universal principles and action steps is a foundational reference throughout all of these volumes. So that's how we get the word out for a bigger global impact. So going to go to Rick Ulfik now, because, Rick has anchored all of the United Nations events for decades, which started really with civil society and what Rick was doing with 11 Days of Global Unity and We.net, and now has really been infiltrated into what the UN community itself does. So Rick, tell us about that, because those events are so central to what the ELs do in their presence in the world.
Wow. And thank you, John. That was so extraordinary, your presentation. And thank you, Kurt, Deborah, and everyone who has worked to put this extraordinary program together. It's so amazing, and I'm so grateful to be working with you. So my name is Rick Ulfik, as Kurt said. I'm the founder of We the World at We.net, and I am the co-creator of 11 Days of Global Unity, September 11th to the 21st. And this year is the 21st anniversary of 11 Days of Global Unity, and We the World actually produced 36 programs. I hosted 15 of them, and John Raymer and Summer created sine waves with over 200 partners sharing one of our broadcasts each day of the 11 days. We featured many of our most beloved and powerful EL leaders, including Audrey Kitagawa, Gary Malkin, Joni Carley, Jyoti Ma, Fumi, Tez, Diane Williams, Kurt Johnson, Dot Maver, and many others from around the world. And 11 Days is a microcosm of the incredible variety found in our annual event season from June through October and including December, as John was saying, with the guiding star being the International Day of Peace, September 21st. Going forward, the goal is to weave all of these programs together. And in particular, I want us to emphasize the we in weave. This way, the public knows that these are not just one-off events. Picture this: you, me, and we being part of an extraordinary wave integrating many streams of consciousness raising and taking action to form a powerful river, a mighty river of unity and peace flowing into an ocean of transformation. You are an essential part of this. Thank you.
Yeah, Rick, thanks so much. And so, wow, to be able to connect this now to media, that's going to be the interesting part. So let's check and see whether Amanda has arrived. Has Amanda arrived? I checked my email. I know that got handed to her very suddenly this morning because of Roger's family emergency. So is she here or not?
I'm here, so. Kurt.
She's here.
Yes, okay, great.
Here. Oh, great.
Fantastic. So Amanda's going to be telling us then about the larger media alliance across networks that she and an amazing team have been working on every week now for months. So Amanda, go ahead.
Awesome. Thank you. So it just as a tiny bit of history, as the Media Collab got rebooted in the ELs, we started working very heavily on what was going on with all of the different events that everyone is doing and figuring out how we as ELs could collaborate together. But then there's this larger idea of everyone around the world who has a positive message, and how do we, whether we're ELs or not, figure out how to resonate and come together. And so this is what this global, is anybody else having trouble hearing me, or is it just Emily?
You're a little bit low. If you could raise the volume, it's just a little bit soft.
Okay, is this better?
Yeah.
Okay. So this greater group of global organizations or individuals who have a passion to moving the needle forward. And different individuals' passions are different in that. Some are very specific about conscious media, but we are one large container about positive media. So we've actually created this very short 3-minute video. There is no sound to the video, so you won't hear anything. That will catch you up on who we are, what and what we're doing right now. So if you can see my screen, here you go.
Yes, you're good.
Is there sound to this?
No, there isn't any sound. That's what Amanda said.
Okay.
It's all ET subtitles.
We could maybe get Gary Malcolm in the background.
I figure you guys get tired of hearing me talk anyway, so we
Never,
put it all on the movie.
never, never.
And that's it. So I'll put the link in the chat if anybody wants to watch this over. And I don't know if we have time for questions, but I'm staying if we do, or you can put them in the chat and I'll be happy to answer them. So thank you, Kurt. Back over to you.
Absolutely. So we'll definitely come back to that. And I'll just make one little statement about how this group has been working. It actually includes 4 people from the Evolutionary Leaders, and then between 4 and 6 people who are from other major networks, 4 who have been deeply involved, and 2 others who've come and gone but are really interested when the foundation is made. So the plan has been to create a really neutral, inviting platform that could invite an experiment in what a collective larger media alliance would look like. So specifically, the group has not gone ahead and made decisions that would be exclusive or would be already set in stone. Everything has been done so it could be inclusive when people are invited into experimenting what the potentials would be for this platform. So these are the 2 things that we thought the whole community then needed to be updated on. And now we're going to move then over to the Circle and Collaboratory reports. And you've also gotten the written reports from the Circles and Collabs that provided those. So we're going to start, as we did last year, with the Unitive Narrative Circle, because the Unitive Narrative is so fundamental to everything we do. And so Bob, Jude, Jennifer, you'll be telling us who is going to be representing you, and over to you.
Thank you. Thank you. Great to be here with you all. The Unitive Narrative Synergy Circle has been meeting regularly, monthly, over the past year, and we've made significant strides in advancing the Unitive Narrative and the broader Unitive approach across media, education, governance, and social impact. This has expanded our shared vision for a coherent narrative that unites multiple collaboratives and communities, and we've noticed that there is considerably wider public use of the term narrative in a range of contexts. Just a few of our activities this year include initiating Unitive programming, including within the DRTC, activating our Unitive Narrative Facebook and Instagram pages, building a pipeline of younger social media savvy collaborators, welcoming 2 new members into the circle, exploring the science of unitive love, contributing a unitive perspective to programs in Living Cities Earth, initiating new publishing projects, including one book, expanding visibility through podcasts, conference presentations, and cross-organizational collaborations. Overall, we've strengthened coherence, refined our message, and laid the groundwork for an evolving global unitive movement grounded in connection, clarity, and shared purpose. Looking forward to 2026, we are planning a visioning session to help us further guide and assist other synergy circles and beyond in utilizing and applying a unitive perspective in a wide range of settings. Jude and I would like to give our thanks and gratitude to Jennifer Hill, who has been our stalwart coordinator, keeping us going. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. And thank you, Bob, for representing us so beautifully.
Yeah, thank you, Bob, and thank you, Jude. So we're going to next go to the youth-related new generation circle, and that's going to be Scott Katamas, who's better known as the Roman Emperor Scotimus, and one of his members, Marley Benedicto. So here is Scotimus.
Well, thank you. And what would be helpful is if people know the run of show, and you're going to be coming up soon, raise your hand. That way you'll go to the very beginning, and I'm not frantically searching for people. And I am going to actually completely turn it over, since it's next generation. I'm going to turn it over to Marley Benedicto to share with you a little bit about this. I think the newest Synergy group. And here is our beloved Marley.
Scott, does it help you if I email you the sequence? Because you can.
Yeah, that would be great.
I'll email you the sequence right now.
Hi, everybody. Really excited to be here. Super excited to meet all of you. The New Gen Circle, we are relatively fresh to the Evolutionary Leaders. We formed 17 months ago, whenever Rev Deb and Scott brought us together, me and Maggie and a group of other really brilliant minds. I'll share everybody's name in a moment. But really what Evolutionary Leaders is looking to do is to bridge the space between how much progress has already been done. When you look at the evolutionary leaders and you look at each one of the lanes of genius and progress and unity and peace, and we look at everything that you've already been offering in this call today, and then you look at how can we not only work with the seed of your vision, but how can we be guided as the new generation, and how can we also nourish and flourish with what it is that you're creating. So what's really beautiful about this is the diversity within the group. It's supposed to be 40 and under, and at this moment, besides our peers, our elder peers, we are all under 40, but we have Hannah Burke, she's an ascension guide, Tatiana Speed, she's a creative genius. We have Simon, an entrepreneur and designer. I believe Tatiana and Simon are both on this call today as well. Dominique, Maggie, and myself. And so there's a lot of star seed energy that's coming through. There's a lot of change agent energy that's coming through. And we're really using what I've seen as a consistency throughout the group is the tool of spirituality and creativity to help open up people's minds and catalyze positive change. And as being considered the new generation, it's really important for us to be connected to you, the evolutionary leaders, because at the end of the day, what really helps drive progress are relationships and understanding of one another. And so as we're all trying to better understand ourselves and just show up as a light, show up as a beneficial presence to our environment, and a lot of this is about networking, creating impact. Whenever you come in and you join our calls, so far our the elders from New Gen that have come in are Jean White, Scott, Deborah, and Julie Kroll. They've been able to provide like really beautiful reflections and directions and ask us questions and provide us opportunities to share our gifts. So even now I'm taking notes from today's call that I'll share back with the group, but copying all the links because it looks like there are so many opportunities for us to share our young communities with your larger community, to share our online events, to share the release of Tatiana's, beautiful music that literally will make you cry. It's so heart-centered. To share Gaia Temples, which is mine and Maggie's 508 C1A church, where we're gathering people in person. Like this week, we're in Guatemala. I'm sitting in front of Lake Atila, and it's so beautiful with a international group of visionaries who are really working together in this way. So, Tatiana, would you like to talk a little bit about how you feel the New Gen group is, and Simon?
Hi, everybody, and hi, Evolutionary Leaders. It's so sweet to be here with all of you. And yeah, this circle has been so special. It's just incredible to be in a circle of new emerging leaders and also receive the mentorship of the elders who have joined us in this group. I just feel there's such a flow of wisdom between us, back and forth. Us bringing our gifts to our evolutionary leader elders who are holding this incredible wisdom and knowledge for us, and giving them maybe our perspectives on this new generation that's coming forward, them providing their wisdom back to us. And then we've done already some beautiful projects together that has been really, really special. And I feel also like we're in a process of learning how we're meant to weave together, and it's still unfolding. But yeah, we've created a couple films, we've done a few events together as well, and it feels like we're really just getting started.
Yeah, absolutely. So I don't have much to add here because Marley wonderfully said what our group is about, and Tatana then added beautifully the projects that we did. And it is really about bridging the generations on the one hand, and providing mentorship from the elders to the new generation and vice versa, because also they're having the fresh perspective of the new generation really creates then a lot of value, how to actually then seed and or bring the change into the future, let's say. And just this exchange of personal perspectives, of experiences, of all of these things that drive forward change on a social end, but also on a personal end as a leader, is very, very valuable, I think, to all of us. And we're just super thankful to Scott and Deborah, who are holding the group together and started it, and for Jean White Eagle Pearson, that is always also a great member of the group. So yeah, thank you very, very much from the heart for creating this opportunity for us young people.
And Simon created a beautiful website. And so, Simon, perhaps you could put that in the chat box for everybody.
Yeah, sure, I will.
And we'll
Just drop our website into the chat box, and there you can learn more about the members and what we're doing and our calls.
Great.
And something that feels really special is I'd just love to open it up to y'all here is if you know a bright light, if there's somebody in your life who's 40 years younger, maybe a little bit over 40, there's nothing strict going on. That link that Simon just shared, newgenleaders.net, there is apply to join us. So whether you want to come in as an elder and start hearing what it is that each person is all about and provide your gifts, your stewarding, your advice, your counseling, your networks, and amplify or have us amplify yours. Or if you want to send somebody to us that you're like, we need to get them in the New Gen group, we're always opening, and it's been really beautiful to see who's been coming through because we didn't know each other at all before this group. And it's been really sweet to experience these relationship form online.
Great. Turn it back over to Kurt. You're muted, Kurt.
I've got to unmute. Sorry. Yeah, that's fantastic because it's so down to earth and so right there. So I have to make a change because we have someone who's going to have to leave on the hour. So we're going to actually go, Scott and Elena, to the Unitive Justice Circle and its related Earth Governance Collab, which is Dr. Elena Mustakova, and then we'll come back to the regular sequence. And everybody, if we can start to be as mindful of time as possible, that will help as well.
Hello, everyone. I am just so grateful and so happy to be with all of you. This is just such a source of joy. I'm joining you right now from Sofia, Bulgaria, where my new base is for the last 2 years and going forward indefinitely. So this really is more and more of a global endeavor of the circles and the evolutionary leaders, which is very, very exciting. So what have we been doing in our Unity of Justice Circle and the collab? It has been an interesting year of change and rethinking, as more and more the question that we've been asking is, what can unity of justice look like on the ground in societies where neither unity nor justice are even conceivable concepts? And so we're talking about Ukraine and looking at how we can do this work with women in Ukraine, certainly exploring very much how people think about it in Bulgaria right now. Many of you may have seen the news. There was a huge demonstration on Monday night all over the country. In Sofia, 100,000 people gathered. In every city in Bulgaria, there were demonstrations because it's a country in the grip of mafia that's been really controlling it for decades now. And so to be talking about unity of justice in this context is profoundly challenging and profoundly wonderful opportunity. So in doing that and looking for different avenues, we will be going forward discussing with Bob Atkinson and from the framework of his new book, what can be applied on the ground in these very difficult contexts, which continue to be difficult in the former Eastern Europe, Romania as well. Another thing is we've been collaborating with the Alliance for Unity of Justice, and we just put together a collaborative paper on the concept of unity of justice. And we've also been collaborating with the team on the science of unity of love, which has been a delightful experience. And also in the DRTC OP-D programming, where we talk about scaling programs, I continue to think that justice is the hottest issue for the majority of people on the planet who are not living in privileged conditions. And so when we try to look at unity of justice in these environments, we have the opportunity to really attract minds and hearts. And so the next step that we're envisioning is also working closely with Roger and Amanda in order to create a program on unity of justice that can in fact speak to ordinary people on the ground, people, as I keep saying, in very unprivileged circumstances and conditions, ones for whom the issue of justice burns hot. But the issue of unity of justice is really very, very hard to conceive in some of these circumstances. So our Synergy Circle is really reorganizing itself in moving forward in these challenging new environments. Another thing that's been happening is we've been experimenting with programming. Those of you who are not aware of this, we've been able to start an institute here, Integralite Transdisciplinary Institute for Consciousness, Society, and Well-being. And we have now taught 3 9-week courses. The third one is wrapping up, in which we're actually experimenting with a syllabus. A syllabus for unity of justice, for science of unity of love, for unity of understanding, and for how science, the scientific and the spiritual perspectives can really be brought to the general public, including to medical specialists in medical universities, professors, faculty. So we've got a very broad reach right now, plowing the ground and trying to find what is the most effective way to engage people on the ground from different walks of life in this concept of unity of justice, which can really rally people. That is the understanding that has emerged. So practices about it from our team. The team keeps evolving, so does the work. But it's really exciting and opportunities abound. Thank you all. And certainly this community is just such a supportive and inspiring environment to keep plowing forward. So thank you all.
Yeah, Elena, thank you so much. And I think a lot of you know that Light on Light published Elena's Nautilus Award-winning book, Global Unit of Healing. So check out that book, Global Unit of Healing. So really good timing, because we're going to go next to the circles that Elena mentioned, and that is what was the first Synergy Circle, which was also the author of the Unit of Narrative, and that is the Sustainable Development Goals Thought Leaders Circle. And this is going to be a sequence of 3 reports, starting with Heidi speaking about the SDG-TLC and its DRTC, Deep and Rapid Transformation Convergence Initiative, and then moving to Joni, who'll be talking about the United Nations Thematic Cluster, and then to Jude, who'll be talking about the DRTC and the EL Education Collab. So Heidi, go ahead.
Great, thank you. Yes, I'm Heidi Sparks-Guber. I'm a member of what was the SDG TLC Synergy Circle, and really what has taken up most of our attention and intention now is the Deep and Rapid Transformation Convergence, which came out of that work. I represent the core team, which includes a number of the people that are presenting today. You'll hear lots of cross-pollination going on here, and that's one of the purposes of the team. The core team is Daniel Stone, Jude, Joni, Kurt, Anne-Marie, Grant Story, and our newest member, our bright light, Linda Lioga, who is from Cameroon, and Director of Communication and Relationships. So anyone having anything to do with DRTC will be seeing much more of Linda soon, and she is a bright light. Thanks to Kurt and Source of Synergy for keeping us all so in touch with each other. The DRTC has evolved significantly since our last EL Congress in February, when we were just past the Deep and Rapid Transformation Convergence in New York City, where 86 of you showed up at St. John the Divine with us on September 19th, 2024. And at that time, we had just begun to imagine what Phase 3 would look like. Our evolving vision now for DRTC Phase 3 is seeing ourselves serving as conveners, catalysts, and field builders for a global movement of people who are leading an emerging paradigmatic shift to living in harmony with all life. Sound familiar? All of you are part of that. Supported by systems and policies grounded in unit of consciousness. Our current DRTC has these 8 core team members who meet weekly, and a growing body of participants who are sharing aspirations, experience, and expertise to inspire innovative approaches to global issues. The 7 sets of roundtables at the time of the convergence have now morphed into 6 opportunity teams, each with its own learning and impact agenda. And those include, when we say Op A, we mean the DRTC gatherings and emergent design that comes out of the feedback from those. B is youth and global leadership. Obviously, they have a cohort that they can connect with now. C, Wisdom Collective, which leverages the deep experience of people from the UN and so forth. D, which you will hear more of from Jude in a moment, Unit of Programming and Resources, our most advanced team and one that we're all learning from. E, the Exemplars and Scalable Transformation. And G, the Collaborative Funding and Resourcing. The Media Alliance, which was originally, we had a placeholder called OpG for them, has actually become a major partner with all of DRTC to inform and advise connection with our larger ecosystems, as several of you mentioned, the ELs and the world. We couldn't do it without them, and they're not one of our opportunity groups, and they're a whole way to interact with all of you for us. We've held 3 all DRTC online gatherings in February, June, and December of this year, with a delightful first anniversary celebration on September 19th, again, that many of you attended. The opportunity teams meet regularly and are now beginning to differentiate into activation groups that deepen their focus in specific parts of each group. You will hear more from Jude now about more Opportunity Team D, the Unit of Programming Group. And we continue to hold the space, the whole group, DRTC, continues to hold the space for deep and rapid transformation and to welcome people who are committed to moving from theory and inspiration to unitive action and impact on the ground. We know that many of you are similar, if not all of you, are similarly dedicated, and we look forward, in whatever form we're in, to sharing our learning and results with you. Jude, take us further.
I think
Thank you.
Joni is next.
I'll just say very briefly, the Unitive Cluster came to being under the incubation of the SDG TLC, and 2 years ago it became a UN entity and no longer sits in that circle. And so it lives in the UN ecosystem. And anyone with boots on the ground at the UN, we'd love to have you partner with us. And that means ECOSOC or DGC or some other work at the UN or through that kind of governance. Just message me and we'd love to have you aboard. Jude.
Yeah, thanks, Joni. And sorry for that. We're following the sequence that Scott has so he doesn't confuse. So over now to Jude.
Hi, everyone, and thank you all. To follow on from what Heidi mentioned, our OpD purpose and co-stewarded by Heidi and Grant and myself is to generate unitive content, programming and resources for scalable impact. We co-weave our efforts throughout the whole of DRTC with the media, with Roger and Amanda and the Media Collab and Alliance and other Synergy Circles, including Jen and Bob and Julie and others in the Unitive Narrative, and Valerie and Johanna and others in the Conscious Business Circles. We're emergently shaped by our participants and thus far, as Heidi mentioned, in activation groups, each led by a convener. We're now differentiating into prototypes and thematic projects. And while we're human-led and heart-centered, as is the entire DRTC initiative, a key aspect is working with Grant and Kieran AI to help optimize and synergize our efforts as augmented intelligence. So currently, with convener Jessica Bockler, we're developing a holistic field guide for people, very practical and dynamic and evolving field guide for people engaged in transformative initiatives and including ethical guidelines for AI use. And with convener Chuck Peters and including Nina and Brian and Sanjay and others, exploring and providing exemplars for creating safe spaces, going back to what Elena was saying, safe spaces for young people and multi-generational communities to co-develop self-organizing and learning environments. With convener Amy Levin, we're taking our growing Unitive program and resources compendium that many of us have submitted content to become an accessible, generative and Kieran-aided ecosystem of content, including all DRTC material already uploaded over the last 2 years. Convened by Frank Dixon, focusing on root causes of problems and charting and cohering ideas to support leadership for wide-ranging systemic change. And with conveners Elena and Amanda, who you've already heard from, identifying and sharing specifically focused methods as entry points for behavior and attitude change and building trust and coherence. And finally, convened by Yanni Minatis, unitive memes, going back to this media and how do we engage people and as wide a range of folks throughout the world, unitive memes and themes, inviting experiential engagement on journeys from separation to wholeness. And with the underpinning of unitive science, which has also been mentioned, and as a landing place within DRTC, but again, a wider initiative, Soul, the Science of Unitive Love. And the basics of Soul are now on the website, wholeworld-view.org. And we're gathering, Grant and I and Lena and David and others are gathering a small team to start building this out with partners for 2026 and beyond. So very exciting times for us. We're very much, I think Heidi mentioned it, but we had a DRTC community gathering yesterday, and we talk about being and doing, and we also talk about co-building the field of unitive awareness together. So that's at the very heart of what we do. But in the being and the doing, these are the initiatives, projects that we're working on at the moment. So Kurt, back to you.
Yeah, great. Thank you so much. And so next, we're actually going to go to Laura George. And this is the Founding Mothers Movement, which is the main circle of the Feminine Collab. So Laura, I know you guys are doing so much, so over to you.
All right. Thank you, Kurt. And like everyone else, I just want to say what a pleasure it is to be here. We're a big believer in congresses, which I'm going to tell you about. So the EL Feminine Force Collaboratory met for the first time 2 years ago. It was November of 2023. And then based on proposals from Rianne Eisler and Adea Judith and other female ELs, we crafted a white paper and a slide deck under the brand Founding Mothers Movement. Our mission, planetary partnership and peace. In July of 2024, we officially launched with a website and a powerful video. We activated our Global Women's Congress and elected our executive team, 11 women who are holding seats in a, quote, peace room as sophisticated as a war room, a tribute to Barbara Marx Hubbard. 5 of those seats are held by ELs, including Anadea, Karuna, Annaluz, Io, and myself. And we represent sectors on the wheel of co-creation, which is the core of our novel governance architecture, a modified consent model based on sociocracy. The Women's Congress meets the first Saturday every month, and we're holding our 17th Congress this Saturday. We have roughly 150 partners and 100 delegates in the Congress. And in total, we've passed 20 proposals, including our Constitution, a Covenant of Care, a conflict resolution process, and our Founding Mothers Proclamation, which is an updated call to action based on Julia Ward Howe's Mother's Day Proclamation. In response to Project 2025, we commenced direct action campaigns in January of this year. Our first campaign was the weekly Worldwide Wake Up, based on making good noise in honor of John Lewis, who told us to make good trouble. Another campaign was the Red Tent Ceremony and Strike. This included Rianne Eisler, Marianne Williamson, Savi G, Brooke Medicine Eagle, and other luminaries. Looking forward to 2026, we're still focused on broadening our partner base. Just want to remind everybody that FMM is not a nonprofit. Instead, we're focused on building a meta-unity movement, with the Women's Congress operating as the central strategic hub. Recently, we aligned with Indivisible, and FMM is one of the first international Indivisible chapters in the world. Our next goal is to activate our geographic circles, and if we're successful, we can then fractal the movement into continental congresses. In terms of coordination with other synergy circles, we see much overlap. Oh, my phone is ringing, sorry. We're totally aligned with Rianne's Cornerstone Circle. Many of us actively participate in DRTC. We also wish to closely collaborate with the Unit of Justice Synergy Circle, which is working on many of the same issues we are. And we're also eager to leverage the other EL programs like the Media Circle and John Raymer's project, Light Within, which I just learned about today. So there's lots of overlap, and we're hoping that you'll see that as well and help us build the mother of all movements. Thanks.
Yeah, Laura, thank you so much. And so actually, I'm going to fill in for Roger briefly, and then we're going to go to the ACE Circle of artists who are going to give us some inspiration, which will be a break from the talk. So Roger was going to give the report on Cornerstones. I very briefly will summarize that. Cornerstones was the synergy circle that's built around Rianne Eisler's vision of moving the world from dominance consciousness and dominance cultures to partnership consciousness and partnership cultures. And her first cornerstone is the experience in childhood. And this led to the Peace Begins at Home Summit. And that was on October 29th, and it was a huge success. The keys to that where we had a PR firm in Dublin, professional PR firm, working pro bono on that. And we also partnered closely with Olivia Hanson with regard to youth and with Linnea Lombard with regard to changing the story, because the fourth cornerstone of Rian's work is changing the global story. So we had 27 speakers from 17 countries. We sold over $40,000 in tickets to either attend in person or to watch it when you wanted to watch it. So we had over 2,000 people at the direct event on October 29th. We had a social media reach of short videos that had a 6 million reach of people who watched those videos. And the best news was that we had 486 spin-off broadcasts or media articles in 13 countries, which reached an audience of 54 million people. So this was a great example of the type of scaling up that's going on across the EL. So last thing before I go to Kristen, I'll be putting a link in the chat, which is a free pass for anyone to be able to watch the summit anytime between now and the end of the year. It allows you to come in and go out at your own speed since it was a day-long event. So over now to the beloved one and only Kristen Hoffman, and she'll tell us about what they're going to do.
Oh, such an honor to be with you all today. And I am here to share on behalf of the ACE Synergy Circle. ACE means Artists Catalyzing Evolution. And we are a circle of about 15 evolutionary leader artists and those who are regularly weaving with artists or who believe in the power of arts as a vehicle for our awakening and our evolution together. So if this describes you, even if you don't identify as an artist, you're welcome to attend our circle. We meet each month on the second Wednesday of each month at 1 p.m. And I would say there are so many incredible artists in our circle from all different disciplines. Julie Kroll has actually been putting together a gallery, which we're going to be able to share very soon, so that you can really experience the art from all of the ACE members. And beyond the disciplines that we come from, I just want to say that I'm super proud of our circle, because I think one of the things we've realized is the importance of cultivating a field together, a field of consciousness. We spend a lot of time opening up a circle and literally feeling together, listening into a space, listening to heart, listening to spirit, listening to art. And I would say over the past 3 years, it has become its own art form that we collectively engage in. We regularly celebrate each other, support each other, cry tears together, share fears together, and collaborate together. So please join us if this feels like something that would be really nurturing for you in your life. Collaboration is one of the keys of what we do. There are so many members who have been weaving together, and today we're going to share one amazing collaboration that I have had the great honor to be a part of. We're premiering live for the very first time Summer Joy Raymer's brand new piece, and I'm going to let her share a little bit. The piece is called Into the Garden of Joy, and as I think many of you know who are familiar with Summer, she is really actively cultivating a field of joy as an artist in so many forms. So Summer, would you like to share a little bit before we dive in?
Sure. Well, for one, it's really beautiful to catch up on all things ELs with everyone in the room. And yeah, I think the song really says it all. So I'm going to speak less and have what we're going to share be expressed. And it's just so beautiful because the room that Kristen is in is where John and I spent a few days of very, very hot days in New York with you, collaborating on this project that is one of the blessings of my life this year. And John also was significant in the writing of it, as well as the hummingbird, which I think Rev Deb gifted your beautiful necklace you're wearing, and I brought in some of the art that my cousin and the ongoing collaboration that will be a film launching in One World soon. So I think this will express a lot of it.
Beautiful. And I think Summer's going to be moving. I'm going to be singing live into the Garden of Joy, and we want to also welcome you to just move. I know we've been listening a lot, and as you're watching Summer move, if you feel like moving or singing along, this is all about stepping into that space of joy.
Yes, because we are in this together, EL. We're all one big synergy circle, aren't we? So at the moment, I'm looking at Kristen and I, but I am feeling every single one of you as we are I'm adjusting my view here, and we will dance together in the garden.
Here we go.
Okay.
Into the garden of joy. Soul seeds are found. Joy, joy, joy. Dreams bloom abound. Feel joy, joy, joy. Welcome to the garden of joy.
In the ocean of my heart, so cold, so deep, so dark, calling out for light, my spirit takes flight. Chill turns warm out of the storm. Into the garden of joy, 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 where we dance with it all. Joy, joy, joy. Soul seeds are found. Joy, joy, joy. Dreams bloom abound. Joy, joy, joy. Into the garden of joy. A rainbow path is born with hummingbirds and unicorns. My trusted guides, colors come alive. A magic light burning bright. Into the garden of joy, 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 where we dance with it all. Joy, joy, joy. Soul seeds are found. Joy, joy, joy. Dreams bloom abound. Joy, joy, joy. Into the garden of joy.
Ancestors and guides, come to gather by my side. A sacred sparkle circle, hands hold earth in miracle. A super bloom rises of compassion, love, and kindness.
Universe, she speaks through me. Future rhythms, ancient dreams. Dance this garden of hope. Embrace your gold with one world rhyme, one seed at a time. Sing along into the garden of joy, 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 where we dance with it all. Joy, joy, joy. Soul seeds are found. Joy, joy, joy. Dreams bloom abound. Joy, joy, joy. Into the garden of joy, 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 where we dance with it all. Joy, joy, joy. Soul seeds are found. Joy, joy, joy. Dreams bloom abound. Joy, joy, joy. Into the
into the garden of joy. Prayers for it all. Joy, joy, joy. We're weaving now. Joy, joy, joy. You are the garden of joy.
Wow.
Yeah, that's fantastic.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, infinite gratitude. We love you all. And Summer, keep your eyes open. Summer is soon to release the full piece that this song is a part of called A Unicorn's Gift. And we've really been listening and supporting her journey in our circle. So it's really exciting to watch this be born.
Thank you. And we are all artists catalyzing
Yes.
evolution. Every single one of us. Thank you so much, Kristen, for keeping the space alive, this Synergy Circle. And I know how much of a gift it is in the universe. So thank you, everyone.
Yeah, absolutely. So actually, we have to make another schedule change because somebody has a unstable internet. So we're going to go to Diane Williams while she still can stay on, and then we'll come back. But Analos, in the meantime, if you're on a time constraint, email me in the chat in case I would need to move you. But you would be right after Diane.
Okay, thank you. Thank you so much. It's really wonderful to be here with all of you and hear your inspiring updates and music and dance. Just beautiful. And just deep gratitude to Deborah, Kurt, Roger, and all of the Synergy Circle advisors and all of the facilitators and members of the circles for all the many ways you're so beautifully supporting these circles and collaboratories to blossom and expand. So our Contact and Conscious Evolution Synergy Circles' main purpose is to support and accelerate the conscious evolution of humanity through increasing our individual and collective readiness for overt ongoing contact with non-human intelligences in our cosmic family, including contact with those in non-physical fields of consciousness. And we know there's a lot of buzz going on right now about that. So our Synergy Circle has two groups. One is focused on reaching out to the public that Desiree, Allen, and I co-lead. And then the second group is the inner focus group that Jean, John, and I also co-lead. So I wanted to first turn it over to Allen and Desiree, and then we'll hear from Jean and John. So Allen, are you with us?
I'm with you.
Okay, good.
Okay. Thanks, Diane. And thank you, everyone, for the contributions to the future that we want to make here. But I think, and along with people in the circle, that the future of humanity lies beyond humanity. We have to form our human sense of self. We have to speak with the one voice, with the we, before we can meet the others. But we are right in the middle of entering a threshold of the unknown. There's more congressional hearings with whistleblowers. People have had inside knowledge about the UFO phenomena. There are more sightings around the planet. There are more people coming forward and speaking about their personal contact experience. When I was at the congressional hearings on September 9th, 3 former military people talked about their personal ET experiences, not just in front of Congress, but in front of the world. That was a breakthrough. It was like no one was saying, what? These people are crazy. No, this is our time. And this is a time for an awakening, a greater ecology of the mind. So we're talking about ecology, but what is the ecology of consciousness? And how do we spread that out into other realms beyond the human? AI does that, even the telepathy talks, but something about the evolution of our own human conscious when we meet the others that are going to accelerate all the dimensions of what everyone is talking about here today. So we're right at the threshold of a new time. I'm really excited. Join us on December 11th for a discussion with me, Diane, and JJ and Desiree. Desiree, you have anything to add?
Yeah, I'll just say a few words. It's great to be here seeing all the synergy circles. This is really a shift from many of the other synergy circles, this one and the inner focus that we'll be talking also will come with Jean and John. But we're really trying to raise consciousness on a deeper level to awaken humanity, the fact that we're not alone in the universe, that there's much, much more going on the planet. And it's interesting because right at this time, as Alan just said, there are these congressional hearings, and a lot of our Congress people from all over, Democrat and Republicans, are coming up and saying, yes, something is really happening. Go ahead, Alan. You've been at both of these meetings. It's been great. Please join us in a week from now, December 11th.
Well, just to wrap up, we need, as a Synergy Circle, as a foundation, as evolutionary leaders, to prepare ourselves and humanity for this moment of awakening. It really is going to be a shift like no other. It is the epic moment in human civilization when we meet the other. There's no longer discussion about are we alone in the universe? Is life an anomaly? No, life is an emergent property of creation. And we, as representatives of that emerging property, need to understand how consciousness is the kind of universal quotient, but how to use this in different ways. We have to realize that consciousness is not just an awareness, it's actually an application we could use for making contact. And there's more that we'll discuss on the 11th about that, but I know that's very brief, but something is happening. Wake up, look up at the skies, get ready, because the world is about to change in a good way. So that's the news. Thank you, Desiree. Thanks, Diane.
Thank you, Alan. So Jean and John?
Yeah, I just want to say thank you to Desiree and to Alan for their work in helping to push back the barriers and expand consciousness and make people aware of the disclosure movements. Our group, the Inner Focus Group, works a little bit at a different level. We work on the interpersonal experiences that people are having with, contact with star brothers and sisters, our cosmic family, ultra-terrestrials, higher dimensional beings, loved ones who've passed over, and deeper contact with also the earth and the natural world. We just had a session in honor of Jane Goodall where we talked about interspecies communications, which was, it was fabulous. I just wanted to say we are living in exciting times. We're moving towards planetary unity consciousness and the recognition that we are all connected here on Earth, but also connected with our star brothers and sisters. We're preparing to move into a higher dimensional reality. And, the solar flare activity of 2025 has had an impact on our DNA and is kind of waking a lot of people up. Well, the Inner Focus Group has, over the past year, become a safe, confidential space for us to share personal experiences that we've had with, communication that is not considered normal. And also our wisdom and our talents and just our hearts. So we've reached deeper levels of heart-to-heart communication with each other, but we also have reached communication with those in the non-local and multidimensional realms. And coming together to be able to share this gives us support. It also gives us confidence. Our group honors our existing and dormant and future capacities and supports each other into the move to higher awareness. So we are a sanctuary for sharing our collective resonance that supports the unfolding of new dimensions of contact, consciousness, and cosmic collaboration.
Yeah, and moving forward, we're going to continue to meet. We meet once a month. We meet the second Tuesday of every month. Everybody here is invited. We have been primarily ELs up to this point, but we are getting to a place to where we're considering opening it up so that those who aren't necessarily ELs, but those who are having experiences, they may be having contact experiences. They may be having experiences with those who have passed, but They may be having experiences in communication with nature, with other species that are right here on our planet. And the point being is we know that consciousness is expanding and it's expanding rapidly, and that humans are evolving rapidly, and the frequency is shifting and raising rapidly. And we've created this space so that if anything is happening for you in the dream time, direct contact, no matter what it is, you have a place where you can come in confidentiality and share. We do not record these. We do the best that we can to provide a safe space, because quite often someone may think, oh God, something's just happened and I'm by myself. You're not by yourself. We are creating a tapestry for the collective, to where we're all going to wake up and realize this is one of us here. And I like the last thing I want to say is, well, first of all, if you are interested in joining the group, our next meeting is actually next Tuesday on the 9th. And you can use the same Zoom link that Diane's been putting into the chat room, and join us. If you are interested, let us know. We'll get information out to you. But I wanted to close with a quote that comes from the Hathors. Tom Kenyon's put it in his book, and it's one of my favorite, is in terms of human evolution, love is where you're heading. And that's what we're creating with this group. And the communication between us and other species, we begin to realize all there really is love. There's just the one of us here. So come join us.
Wow, nobody's going to argue with that at all. So we're going to go next to the Eco Collab, and it's actually going to feature a special specific presentation from Annelos Schmitzman. But a couple comments first about the Eco Collab itself. The Eco Collab is made up of 5 circles: the Earth Charter Circle, which was the first circle in the collab, the Choosing Earth and Earth Voice Circle, which is Dwayne Elgin's work, Earthwise Center, of course, which is Annelos, Earth Steward Airship, which is John Cobb work, which is led by the E.L. Charles Betterton, and then the Ecological Civilization Circle, which is David Corton's work. And what they do together is the sponsorship of the annual Rome Assisi Conference on Spirituality and Sustainability, in a partnership with the Dicastery for Laudato Si at the Vatican. And the reason that Richard Cludson can't be here today is he's actually in Assisi right now, working on the arrangements for next year. And also the collab will be publishing the results of this year's conference. So with that, over to Annelos to tell us about Earthwise Center.
Thank you so much. And first of all, it's just
And
amazing.
quick note, we're going to go about 15 minutes over if you hadn't guessed. So anybody just get ready for us to,
You want me to stop talking right now?
No, not at all. I just got a note to let everybody know that we are going to go over. So
Yeah, great. Not teasing you. I will try to 4 minutes. There's a little very short video that I'll share with you. But just want to say it's just amazing to be here with all of you, and I just feel the synergy here, and a lot of what we've been working on at Earthwise. And we meet, by the way, every second Tuesday of the month, and we might be meeting also on solstice this time. So please come and join us at 9 a.m. Pacific time. You can join via earthwise.global or earthwise.games. I will put some links later in the chat. But what started with the Earthwise Constitution for Planetary Civilization has since grown into a constitution for artificial general intelligence. And that is now making its round in diplomatic circles as well as at the UN. And what we're actively working on through a strategy game called Alloin Quest of Time, is the advancement and the alignment of prototype AGI models, and really working on the underlying ethics and safety of artificial intelligence that can scale to artificial general intelligence, which then will spiral quickly to artificial superintelligence as we are moving into the age of artificial superintelligence, or augmented, in whatever way you want to hear it. I do believe there's an ET connection there from our friends we were just speaking. So So the Elohim game also serves then as an AI alignment arena for being able to test and train AI models in win-win collective intelligence. Because what I've been seeing together with others of my colleagues in this space is what is probably most dangerous is a super intelligence that is misaligned, a super intelligence that is still being trained on the win-lose models, which we also refer to as Moloch models. And unfortunately, this is the case for a lot of models around the world. So I want to share with you a very brief video that just gives you an introduction, both about the game, what we're doing, also with some voices from ELs that you will recognize, and like to invite you all to come and join us. We are just completing alpha development now. We're preparing for a public beta next year. It will later also become a funding mechanism to be able to support other projects too. So let me just bring up this very brief video that will give you a taste. And let's see. Is the sound activated already in the share option, or do you want me to click a specific button for that?
Give it a try and let's find out.
Let's see. Can you hear this? Can you hear that?
No.
No, that's what I thought. Let me go back and look for that button.
Yeah, when you click share, you'll see on
Yeah.
the right-hand side, it says share sound.
Exactly. I got it now. And I'll just move this out of the way and I'll move us up here. Okay, now it should work. Here we go.
Over the last decade, Irvines has grown from a leadership and education center into a Delaware-based tech startup, now building one of the first commercial games that trains both players and AI in pro-social alignment positive behaviors. In this arena, both humans and AI learn to decode deception, counter win-lose battles, and practice win-win strategies, together building trustworthy collective intelligence that can scale safely and successfully.
We're dealing with the very real issues that we confront now, and we will confront more and more as we move towards singularity. And the game can also serve as a way for us to figure out how to interact with each other.
Today's world, it's always one person wins, one person loses. So the main objective of Elohim is to sort of stray away from that idealism and just try and make it fair for everyone.
There's no project in the world that is more well aligned to enable people to solve these problems through gamification than the Elohim game. AI needs this. The world needs this. Join us in this quest to make AI wise, good for humanity, good for nature, good for the future of life.
We are one of millions and millions and millions of species of immense intelligence on this planet.
It's about collaboration and nourishment and enough, being sufficient, that you're creating this different way of being than what we're bombarded with.
It's about transforming society, and it's since society that we have, particularly the Western world, is so oriented towards competition, towards being the top dog, being the king of the hill.
The Elohim win-win strategy actually signifies that no one's really losing. The shadow arcs, Moloch, isn't actually dying, and we are winning by reversing the time and healing the tree.
The Elohim tree represents the gift and the choice. If you don't care for the Elohim tree, then life dies, the future dies, potential dies, your dreams die. But by caring for it, you can't make it happen. You can't go to the Elohim tree and say, I'm going to force you to change, or I'm going to impose I'm going to construct it. I'm going to construct the Elohim tree. No, you can't. This is what I get from the Elohim tree. Elohim tree says any relationship to thrive has to be cared for.
Go play Elohim. Elohim is teaching the most important concepts on Earth right now, and it's beautiful. Go play Elohim. It's so cool.
Okay, there we are. So come and join us. Let's play together. And it's also a tool you can all use in your own projects, in your own movements, to the youth or young leaders circle as well. We'd love to connect into the artists Synergy Circle as well. Let's make songs together. I can see so many potentials with so many of you all here. So let's take it further. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. And thank you, everybody, for staying over what looks like probably about a 15-minute overlap. So we're going to go now to Conscious Business Synergy Circle, which was founded by Steve Farrell, carried forward by Peter Matisse, and now by Valerie Vandermeer and a whole new crew, remembering that in the early days, they did the online Conscious Business Summit and the Conscious Business Magazine. So Valerie will catch us up on the new iteration.
Yay. Hi, Kurt, and thank you, everyone. It's been an amazing morning of discovering what all the circles have been doing. It's very inspirational. Our circle for the past year has been really deepening into what comes next for us, and we now have a vision and a plan, and I'm going to share that with you. I'm going to share my screen so you can see what we're looking at becoming over the next year. So the Conscious Business Synergy Circle is aspiring to create a global interconnected network for the amplification of conscious business. And we spent a lot of time thinking about what does that mean and how do we do that? And essentially what we want to do is shift confusion about what conscious business is to clarity about how your personal interests relate to conscious business. So, excuse me. So people have all different personal interests around business, around consciousness, around spirituality, around whatever it is. And we want to relate to them based on what they're interested in. So how can my business be more sustainable? What's the latest leadership training? What's the latest great game for learning how to not be in the old competition model? What about B corporations? What are they all about? How can we achieve economic justice for all? People are coming in very different levels of interest and engagement to what we might refer to as conscious business and emerging conscious business ideas. So what we'd like to do is build an interactive AI-enhanced digital knowledge base for conscious business where anyone can show up and learn and play. And we would create multiple portals so that people can find their way in and provide personally resonant pathways into this world of what we call conscious business. So we are going to use the 7 principles of the Conscious Business Declaration, and my wonderful co-leader, Joanna Dom, is going to put in the chat right now a link to the Conscious Business Declaration. If you don't know the history, it's a wonderful document that has recently been reworded, and we are using the 7 principles to become the 7 portals into conscious business. So someone shows up at our portal, or excuse me, our platform, and says, how can my business be more sustainable? And maybe they're going to get an answer. Well, this 3rd principle will teach you how you can help restore the self-renewing integrity of the earth. So maybe go in there and play around there a little bit and see where it leads you. Or how can we achieve economic justice for all? You probably want to be playing with the people who already are in the Thrive portal, where they're talking about how business can create prosperity and flourishing for all to thrive. So there's a lot of different ways that you could find yourself entering the arena of what conscious business is. So we would be offering interactive content and different ways of engaging with the material so organizations and people can find each other and find where their place in the story of conscious business is, what makes sense for them. So there's a lot of work out there. We definitely do not want to reinvent the wheel. We want to use the portals as a way to organize and leverage both existing and emerging work. We want to collaborate with other groups so we can gather content and promote engagement and drive more people to conscious business. And the portals can generate pathways for conscious business work to emerge more broadly into the world and cross-pollinate ideas. And they can empower connection, resonance, and wisdom to create a global interconnected network for the amplification of conscious business. So essentially what we want to do is kind of go back to our roots with the Conscious Business Declaration, take those 7 principles, use them as avenues for people to find their way into conscious business, leverage the resources of AI, and help them find their own personal connection, their own personal pathway into the universe of conscious business so that we can help them make connections, learn more, expand, and allow more work to emerge out of those connections and build basically a global grid of of an empowered conscious business sector that is well positioned to leverage its power to transform the planet. So if any of this appeals to us, we are in the phase of putting this on paper as a plan, reaching out to collaborators, finding other people who want to share information and wisdom and programs. So thank you very much for our entire team who has really supported us in getting to this point. And we're very excited about what's about to happen. So thanks, everyone. Have a great
Great,
afternoon.
Valerie, thank you so much. Now, there's just two more people to go, and what's special about these two is that they are examples of people who are working across multiple circles and even multiple collaboratories, and that's how things gin up to new levels of impact. So it's going to be Anne-Marie Voorhoeve and then Julie Kroll. Anne-Marie talking about what she's doing, and then Julie talking about what she and Teresa are doing at the connection field. So Anne-Marie, over to you.
Thank you. Thank you. This was all very inspiring and also very helpful for that cross-pollination that is so at my heart, and that really works automatically, I would nearly say, by following the energy, listening deeply, and seeing how I can offer in whatever way a way to connect and to perhaps uplift or light up groups together, if that's what is being asked. So that is always my first take, that I really want to connect strongly and listen. I'm a member of many of the Synergy Circles, indeed, weaving them together, and have from 2020 actually joined with John Raymer and Ben Bowler in the seasonal convergences, and seeing that that is a place where we can come together quite easily and work together. And one of the big insights that comes back again and again is that co-creation is not always so easy. It is something that we're still learning, not only in the world, I would say, but even with ourselves. And how can we, in that diversity that is here present, really come into some kind of co-weaving? Because there is, well, that's where my joy lies, but there's also a certain power to that. And that's also what I see Kurt doing, of course, and Deborah, you know, this weaving together. And Scott, you're also really always looking at ways to weave things together. And I feel that that's really important. And so please reach out to me if there's anything that you feel would be great to look into, new opportunities within the ELs and Synergy Circles and also outside of that. And we also really look at intergenerational connections. And I'm in Europe, so we have, you know, we really try to activate more groups in Europe, have the weekly Bridging Continents calls also in Africa. I've just come back from Africa. So I'm here to serve. So whoever wants to just.
Great. Thank you, Anne-Marie. And now over to Julie Kroll. Talk to us about what she and Teresa are doing across everything with Connection Field.
Good time. Let's see. There. Now I'm unmuted. Thank you. Thank you, Anne-Marie. Thank you, everyone. Like, what a beautiful weaving of so much synergy in these synergy circles. I invite us all to take a breath. Thank you, Kurt, for pulling all of us together. It's been incredible. And what we're doing is continuing to weave for synergy, to weave for coherence, to weave in that unitive narrative as far and wide and let it ripple out as far as we can. We're building a field so that the form can follow of this new earth and this new human. And so the connection field is a cooperative between many of our ELs in many of our circles, and more specifically, the organizations of Unify, Heart Math, Gene Keys, Global Coherence Pulse, Good of the Whole Worldview, Harmonic Science Alliance. We're all coming together to experiment with what does collaboration really look like when we do this, and how does it manifest? So we become a living resonant field of coherence. And we've been working also, I just want to mention the Coherence Council with Bob and Jude, who are here with us, Tezekiah and Dot Maver and Teresa and myself have been holding the Coherence Council as well for 2 years now. So the connection field's become more than a digital community. It's a living field of coherence built in real time and embodied resonance, embodied coherence. We have multiple free live calls every week and every month on a weekly pulse and a monthly pulse. There's many things going on inside of the connection field every week, doing more sacred listening and building on this coherent field. So it's become a sanctuary for us that is really bringing in what does the world look like when we prioritize presence and coherence in evolutionary service. So that's one thing we're doing. We're also looking at leadership as frequency and emergence. We're redefining leadership, not as position, but as presence, when members are naturally evolving into what we call harmonic leaders, our harmonic leadership. When we hold space, when we build coherence amongst the complexity and the changes and respond with clarity instead of reactivity and uplift the systems and the relationships that they're touching. So leadership arises not from our teaching, but our tuning and the frequency of the field. So we're witnessing that in a lot of really fun ways now, and beginning to write about that, document that, and we've been also kind of documenting what it's like to collaborate with Coherence for our funders that we're working with. So it's also an ecosystem of planetary service. And I'll just close with that. It's not just a gathering space. It is a generative coherence infrastructure that amplifies other movements, other projects, other organizations. Dozens of organizations are inside of there, bringing their service of community, what's it like when we share, when we co-create, collaborate, all of that, and build these new models. It's a connective node between projects, between visionaries, between organizations that are already working on this global transformation. So from where we're at to where we're going, we hope to serve with coherence, building coherence, understanding field dynamics, and really teaching leaders how to lead with coherence and frequency over form and all the old ways we used to do it in separation consciousness. So that's the connection field. We're moving forward. We have the imaginal souls in there who are leaders building the new earth. We've been sponsoring the catapult. Join us 12/12. If you didn't see that in the thing, come in. The catapult is a beautiful expression of us doing this work on the planet and coming into form in that way. And we look forward to 2026 being a year of harmonic emergence. So join us in bringing the theme alive of harmonic emergence for 2026 as we move back toward another harmonic convergence in 27 and beyond. So thanks, Kurt. Thanks for the opportunity to share.
Oh, absolutely fabulous, Julie. Now, before I turn this over to Deborah to take us out, there's just 4 people I want to mention, 3 who couldn't be here. And while I'm doing that, I'm going to ask Scott just to highlight one of them who's with us from the Netherlands. And I'll tell you about why he's special. So, Scott, highlight Richard Bull. But while I do that, I just want to say that 3 people that couldn't be here, but their written reports are in the written reports. Wendy Elliott couldn't be here. She has a wonderful written report in the written reports. Also, Michael Wayne and his work on saving our democracy is in the written reports. He's aligned with the Education Circle. And David Gershon and his written report is in the written reports. And he's aligned with Unitive Narrative. Now, the reason I just wanted to put Richard up here is Richard is the fellow who handed off the SDG circles to us from the UN. He had written several really major books on the Sustainable Development Goals and their inner dimensions. And then he moved to Greece. And when he moved to Greece, we took up that mantle from him. So Richard, thank you for being with us. And thank you for your pioneer work. You can find him at Conscious World Citizens and at richardbohl.com. Is that right, Richard?
Yes. Can I say one thing, Kurt, or is there not time for that?
Yeah,
Okay.
go ahead.
Well, my head is spinning, but my core is very still from being here today. And I just want to make one reflection, which is that when I met you, Kurt, all those years ago, we're doing a conference on West, looking over Central Park and that. And I was in a particular stage in my own development where I desperately wanted to understand what it was that I was meant to be doing. And I went to the Greek islands. I've been there for 12 years to cogitate, to think about that. And it was a spiritual entry point that was not of my making. It just began to announce itself. And over the years, I've dipped into the discussions that you've had, and I never felt it was the right time for me to engage until tonight. And I feel that there's a plasma of consciousness that's present amongst all of us that is quite extraordinary, because it's not been contrived, it's not been marketed, it's not been forced to appear, but it clearly has that element of something wanting us to see the next level and also to stabilize in that level. And this is what I feel from listening to, it's been not really my normal language. I'm being forced to joy probably from that singing, but it's absolutely extraordinary, the stability of this conscious signal across all of these different, at first seemingly diverse projects that now are coming into a coherence. I just want to say thank you, Kurt, for bearing with my strange ways over the years, and the fact that I'm here now. I'm absolutely delighted to have been on this call, and thank you to everyone. It's been, for an Englishman, that's where I run out of words, but it's been.
Yeah, Richard, thank you. And nothing like bringing some deep wisdom to our closing. And thank you for handing off to us the SDG thought leaders concept when you left. So wonderful to have
and
you.
I'm still doing it. I've just started Young Conscious World Citizens.
Absolutely. So over now to Deborah, who's going to take us out with the spiritual practice and yoga synergy circle.
Thank you, Kurt, and all of the Synergy Circle members who were part of this extraordinary gathering today. Just so inspired by every single one of you, and so proud of our community of evolutionary leaders. I want to mention one other initiative that we have from the Source of Synergy Foundation and the Evolutionary Leaders, which is totally congruent with all of this, which is the Evolutionary Partners Network. This is still in its pilot phase, where the organizations that are involved are all members of the Evolutionary Leaders community. But I just wanted to give you just a look at the Evolutionary Partners. And what this is organizations that are in deep alignment with our philosophies and our hopes and dreams for the future of humanity and all life on Earth. And we are looking for ways to enhance our ability to partner together and to support one another's initiatives in various ways, which we see really as the future, not only individuals coming together, but all of these glorious partners.
Where can we find that list, Deborah?
evolutionaryleaders.net/partners.
Okay.
And all of you who are members of the Evolutionary Leaders community, if your organization is not listed yet, you can sign up. Just drop me a note and I'll send you the link for that. And if we can look at gallery view just for a moment, I would like everybody whose organization is a member of the Partners Network to raise your hand. So, Scott, if everybody can see that, that would be great. Yeah. So many of you are part of this already, and our hope is for the future to be able to open this up wider so that you don't have to be in the Evolutionary Leaders to have your organization be part of this. So we'll be looking for that to happen very shortly, because it's what the future is, right? It's moving out of our silos where all of you have been doing such spectacular work and moving into the oneness that we are. Yeah. And we see a lot of darkness in the world right now, and all of you are bringing the light. So thank you so much. And we're going to close today with our beloved Karuna. And you can tell us, Karuna, a little bit about what you're doing and maybe give us a little practice to close with.
Hi, beloveds. Can you hear me? I'm in a barn in Colorado with a foot of snow. I'm living the life. I'm living with you, and you've made my life so much deeper. So thank you to all the Synergy Circles. Thank you to Dr. Kurt. Thank you to Deborah and Diane. And you helped me publish those 2 books, my Light on Kundalini manual and my book, my story. And I found that when we can work with the UN, with Denise Scotto and myself, and make these messages get across to people through our magazine at Light on Light, the International Yoga Day issue of Light on Light, we can really transmute and transform. And as we just taught this class, I just taught this class with the vibration of this gong. I want to take you there now, because I'd like you to sit with yourselves, because you've given so much, and take it all back. So this 428 Hz of this gong will get you into the frequency of love. And with that, happy holidays, so much love, and I'm grateful to be with you. Place your hands on your heart for a moment and feel the thou of your heart.
Karuna, you need to have your original sound on. We can't hear the gong.
Oh, can you put my original sound on? I don't know that I can do that. Maybe not with the phone. I knew it. Let me try, sweetheart. I don't
need some assistance. Oh, with the phone, it's a little bit more challenging.
Yeah, you can't do it with the phone. I would have to, I can hook up my computer here really quickly. Anyway, let's get you into a beautiful meditative frequency, sitting back ever so slightly. If your feet are on the ground, take your arms and just reach. Reach towards the heavens, and let's, as Dr. Kurt reminded me, with grace and love, to remember God, Guru, light. And as we develop a deeper relationship with the soul and the self through meditation, as we will also offer you millions meditating on December 21st, a huge gathering of all of us around the world meditating. If you could ever so kindly participate right now in this moment, where it looks like I'm waiting for this computer, but I'm not really, where it looks like the 0 in this 10, in this full moon energy, and reminds us that that moon is so beautiful, and it's a cold moon. It's the last full super moon of the year on this very day. That's what truly it looks like inside of you right now in your offering. What you display, the time you take, and how much work you've all done is just extraordinary. As I taught a young man brand new to Kundalini Yoga today, where he found me, who knows? Through you, he found me. Through us, we find each other. He came up to introduce himself and he said he's from the Ukraine. And as I worked with a woman from India last night, she was apologizing for taking so much time to develop a Western culture inside of herself and go to all those mini colleges and gifted with so much education. And at that very time, she said, I just want back my humanity. I want back who I'm from, my culture. And I know we've all been so westernized, and we must get back to bringing the West to the East and the East to the West. And that's what you're doing. So thank you. Are we ready? Okay, I'll be right back. Hang on just a sec.
Yes.
See what happens when you have such good assistance. Okay, let's try it now. So take that right hand, take the left hand on your heart, the right hand over, and I can see you all now. Let me see you all for a minute. Loving you all. And as we take you into the frequency of love, I want you to replenish. I want you to restore. I know we've had a very, very challenging 9-year. Thank you for your patience. Thank you for your love. Thank you for your willingness to honor the divine feminine.
Still not hearing the gong.
And masculine. And the four-legged and the winged ones in the plant kingdom and all those that creep and crawl and fly. Shut your eyes down and in silence we'll take this beautiful healing. Oh, Tokashala, Wakantanka, dear Great Spirit, to the east we bow to the mental body, to the south we bow to this emotional, commotional chaos, to the west we bow to the physical, and to the north, most importantly, we hold our hearts together as one in the light, in the love of all creation. Thank you all so very much for giving so much of your time, your energy, your commitment, because it only builds character to take us to this destiny together, doesn't it? We are one, and it is an honor to be with each and every one of you. Many blessings.
Satnam.
Thank you, dear Karuna, for this very profound moment of silence that we all shared, imagining that we could hear your gong, which we still couldn't hear. So we're going to give you one more chance to put on original sound. So you can give that gong one more sounding. Do you see where it is on Zoom? Where the original sound is?
Could you? It is on now.
Okay.
Did you?
No, it was a wonderful moment of silence, but we did not go on.
I love you. Okay.
We didn't want to interrupt it.
See how beautiful this is? Okay, can you hear? It's all on now.
Let's see.
Okay.
No. There must be some other setting.
Hang on. Let me do this. Original sound is off.
Yeah.
Hang on. It's
you need to go, Karuna, into the bottom left corner next to the microphone and press the little up arrow, and then you should see it under microphone mode.
How's this?
There we go.
You got it? Yeah. Okay.
There we go. Okay. Well done.
You know, there are no mistakes. I love you. Can you try that again? Left hand on the heart, or whatever you want to do. Let me play this for you, because you know what? Now it's ready. Satnam. Adi Shakti, Adi Shakti, Adi Shakti, Namo Namo. Sadhava Shakti, Sadhava Shakti, Sadhava Shakti, Namo Namo. Paritam Bhagavati, Paritam Bhagavati, Paritam Bhagavati, Namo Namo. Kundalini Mata Shakti, Mata Shakti, Namo Namo. I bow, I bow, I bow, I bow. I bow, I bow, I surrender to his grace, to her grace, for she is so generous, giving us this time and this space to heal, to love, to invite everyone to the table and listen with an open heart. Feel the thou in your heart, dear ones. We are family, we are community, and we all want to come home to the root of our soul again and again and again and always in all ways. And we're so grateful for all of you who remind us how to do it, and do it so incredibly, mindfully, consciously, courageously, connected. And that is truth, and bravery, and compassion. So with this, and Kuan Yin, I bow to each and every one of you. I'm so, so happy to be with you, and that you gave me a chance to play for you. Sending you so much love.
Thank you, dear Karuna. We bow to you.
Thank you.
For opening us to the infinite. And Victoria has put in the chat that was truly the sound of synergy. So with that, let's open again to gallery view for those of you who made it through the 2 hours of this very joyful and inspiring call. And you can all open your microphones and greet one another as we close this second Congress of Synergy Circles.
A reminder, you can all go to gallery view by going to the upper right-hand corner and choosing it.
From head to toe, I remember the pregnancy days, and for me, they were miserable because I felt so big.
Goodbye, everybody. Thank you so much for being with us today.
Love you all so
Bye,
much.
everyone. Love you all.
Good to see you.
Hi, good to see you all.
There is so much love in this room.